I'm sipping, 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 I'm sipping.
Sipping, I'm 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 sipping.
You laugh.
Sipping, I'm 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 sipping.
This is Sippin' with Sammy. I am Mr. Fly Shit Only, the one and only Sippin' with Sammy. Sam Malone, Barstool Rug. If you ain't sippin' with Sammy, you ain't sippin' right. Please get your fucking life together. Yup! Happy Monday, man. It's a great Monday, a dope Monday. I actually got a commercial from my sponsor, but my producer's walking away right when we supposed to be playing it. So we gonna get to that, and we be right back in a second, and we gonna have some fun, man. We got some great topics. I'm in a good mood, man. I had a good day. I was relaxing and getting paid for it. So let's have some fun, man. This is Sippin' with Sammy, Sam Malone, Barstool Rug, here with Rich Jules, the official sponsor of the Sippin' with Sammy podcast. Tap in with Rich Jules, male or female jewelry, and actually has a holiday sale going on right now. Black owned, small business. Tap in with Rich Jules, Sippin' with Sammy approves.
We're back.
Shout out to Rich Jules, man. Shout out my homegirl Marissa. Salute to you. Great quality work. As y'all can see, I've been repping for the last couple months. You know what I'm saying? She been dropping them sets off to your boy. Wearing the Zodiac collection, which is unisex right now. Just a vibe, man. Check out her social media, Rich Jules, RISS Jules, or check out my page because a lot of it is collaborative. So you can just tap on the video on my page and go to her page or whatever have you. A lot of quality work, man, and just a dope individual, a minority, and a small business owner, and yeah, all of that fly shit. So we always want to salute to her, man, holding down Sippin' with Sammy podcast. Appreciate you, Riz. Listen, if you tapped in right now, make sure that y'all check, comment. I respond, man. You talk to me, I talk back. I'm here with y'all. I'm actually about to send a link out now that we're live and put it on the book and such. But we can get into the weekend recap. We always usually try to start with the weekend recap, so let's do that. And I need to remember what I did this weekend again. That's just normal for me because all of my days look very similar.
Well, I can help with that.
Very similar. Shout out to K. K is on here with us. You know what I'm saying? Tapped in with us. We do that one time for K. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got something to add to the topics too.
Well, since I'm here and I'm ready, I could talk about my weekend.
Go ahead.
All right. So this weekend was FISHTOWN Freeze for me, which is my last event of the year. This is our 5th year doing it. And before I talk about the event, I actually have a commercial for it. So let me cue that up instead.
Oh, I thought you was ready. I thought you was going to help me remember what I did this weekend, but you went right into you.
So if you couldn't tell from the video, FISHTOWN Freeze is a event that we do every year that combines ice sculptures with some live ice carvings, along with a retail shopping promotion where you get a progressive discount the more that you shop local. So it was a really popular day. I mean, you were out there. What did you think of it?
I've been out there a few years. It's a vibe. I really wanted you to get it more into explaining it as you did. You smart girl. You smart. But I think that you guys, and mainly you, from what I see, I know that you have a team, but conceptually bringing attention to these local businesses and making sure that the community feels like a community and has events that are dope and different and dog friendly and all of that cool shit that the community requires. I think that this fly, and I think that FISHTOWN Freeze is definitely one of the top joints because it's not so much about, or it's not so much crowd based as it is like 'tis the season to get out here with these small businesses and shop and vibe. But y'all still get big crowds and the businesses seem to get a lot of love. And I saw at y'all last event, before that, you said you had a restaurant that had its biggest day since it's been down there. So
yeah, that's true.
These things are positive and awesome. And just like looking at the commercial, it's like, oh, that look dope. What's that? And I've been there.
Yeah.
And I've been there. But even looking at the ice sculptures, like they got real hands.
And shout out to Brendan for making the commercial. Shout out to Ice Philly, who we work with to do all of the sculptures. They're fantastic to work with. So I can't say enough about them. If you're ever looking for an ice carving, any time of year in Philadelphia, check out Ice Philly. But yeah, no, it is one of the best days of the year, if not the best day of the year for most of our retailers. So it's really important, especially now with, even myself, I shop a lot on Amazon and it's convenient to do so, but the uniqueness and the quality of the gifts that you get when you shop local is just unmatched. So try to remember that this holiday season and shop at your local boutiques. I definitely went out shopping yesterday for a little bit and cleaned up pretty quick. So
I think it inspires the energy of like personalized gifting again, like unique gifts, and you know what I'm saying? Because we can all just order each other coats.
Right.
But when you see all of these small businesses that have so much random eclectic stuff, you liable to bump into a beer candle for your peoples. Like, this is a candle that I got at one of them events, and it's perfect for somebody like me. So it don't have to be expensive, but it can literally seem very personalized just because you're gonna bump into something that's gonna remind you of somebody. And a lot of the stuff is community and city based too. So it's always something fly for a man cave or for a coffee table or something.
Definitely. So yeah, that took up most of my weekend.
So you didn't watch the KO party with Gillie and Wallo?
Oh, that was.
Did you catch that?
That was gonna be my next thing. Is we did watch that. What was that, Saturday night?
That was Friday night.
Friday night? Wow, it was Friday night.
It's a great $20.
It was a fantastic, probably the best $20 we spent on entertainment this year. I think I can say that.
You keep trying. We me to death. But definitely a great $20. Gillie and Wallo. Oh, okay. I see what you did there. You got it up there. So, first and foremost, shout out to Mr. Fletcher. I was looking at the promo and I didn't really quite understand what was going on, but I kind of understand how they like to run their plays, and I saw it was a lot of big names in the area that was involved. I don't want to say like huge names as if everybody that's in our radius knows of them, but if you are really tapped into what's going on in the city, you know a lot of these people, faces, names, energies, likenesses, all of that. So that was already dope because it's like, all right, a lot of people are buying into it, and it doesn't seem like a clout chase thing. It seems like a way to market yourself or to have some fun and probably make a couple dollars. But it doesn't seem like one of those things where you like, oh, I'm on an undercard of Logan Paul. You know what I mean? That wasn't the thing. Like, so I thought that it was going to be decent, at least a little funny. But 15 minutes into watching the broadcast, yo, I was like, oh, I got my $20 worth already. Am I wrong?
No, there was only like one boring fight.
They started in a good timing. They kept the ball rolling the whole time. Soon as one fight ended, they was pulling the next fight up.
Yep.
Even like people that didn't do so good in the ring was still entertaining in the ring, out the ring. It was just a vibe. Like, I fuck with it. Shout out to Marley, because Marley kind of got whooped on, but his entrance and his energy and even him papping all the time, I felt like he was in character while he was boxing. So it's cool.
I don't know. I saw the internet say that it's saying he won.
Yeah, people were saying that, but yeah, you know, I watch fighting. Marley, you lost that one, good brother. But what's my man name? This is what I was trying to find out. Who had the knockout? Was that DK?
No, it was
Heyman? Wild Heyman?
it might have been him. Might have been him.
Hold up. No. I'm tripping. That's the commentators' names. I'm watching the knockout, but I'm trying to see the boy that laid on the ropes. I don't want to do that. But no, that was a great fucking knockout, and he looked like he knew what he was doing. But I owe Meatball an apology.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say it publicly, but behind the scenes, from what I was seeing from the build up before the fight, and like Meatball shopping heavy and all of that, and Shorty was so big, I'm like, oh, Meatball might get whooped. I'm so glad I was wrong, yo. Let's make some noise for Meatball. Cause one thing for sure, Meatball is just one of them personalities in the city that like nobody really hates Meatball. You can't be mad at Meatball. She do what she do. She bump her head. She makes fun of herself. We make fun of her, and she still comes out and has confidence and puts herself out there over and over and over again, even after she just got in trouble recently. You see what I'm saying? And I love that the Powerhouse and at the KO party, even looking at people's pictures that was there, that was behind the scenes, I love the love that she's getting since she went through that situation recently that she still has to fight. So shout out to her for whooping that ass, because that girl ain't have a shot.
I think the guy's name was Authentic Ace.
Authentic Ace with the knockout?
I think it was.
Shout out Authentic Ace, bro. And it's no disrespect, it was 15, 20 fights. And a lot of those names I didn't know until the fight. But I literally laughed and oohed and oh shit and whoa the whole time. The whole time. And you can still go out after it was over if you wanted to. They ain't even take up your whole night, so.
Yeah, shout out to production on that. They definitely kept it moving.
Yeah, man. And if you watch it, you realize that this is a new event that they put GILLIE and Wallo's influence on, but it's not a new event. This is a regular Barstool event. I think this was the 5th one that they said.
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
So I think with what happened with the production of what we saw entertainment-wise and probably with the pay-per-view bought in, they might become a permanent staple in this venture with Barstool, whether that means that they'll do all of the events or that they'll just have their own version of them, you know, that they'll always just quarterly or whatever have it. But I think it's dope. I think it gives people a lot of time for to laugh at GILLIE and Wallo, as they love to do, and also feature some local people that not only may have fighting talent but have personalities and energies, and hopefully nobody gets hurt. Shout out to the young boy that was sleep on his feet and they wouldn't stop the fight. And shout out to his opponent, the youngin with the red locks, for going easy on him, because that could have got very scary. And I hope that the young man is okay. I hope he good, because we just wanted to have a little entertainment. We didn't want to see nobody have any permanent repercussions from that. But like I said, salute to the to his opponent, because you could tell that he was just falling back like, bro, he out of there. I don't want to like do that to him. You know what I mean? And that's respectful, because that might have been the biggest platform he ever been on. If he would have ran up on him and did him dirty, he could have went viral. You know?
Yeah.
Like all the things that everybody care about besides humanity, he showed a lot of poise and restraint, and I just want to say respect to that young man, and I'll sip to that.
Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished?
What did you think of Gillie and Wallo as commentators?
I felt like Gillie was celebrating before the stream started. I feel like there was times where he felt like he was either too high or too drunk. But gauging Gillie probably was really stoned. But there was times that he felt like he was daydreaming at some points. Wallo was trying to carry things and trying to engage, and he did a good job. And then the white homie that was with him was very raw, very knowledgeable, and had great timing. So he kind of balanced out the parts where Gil wasn't really in there. Mm-hmm. But I really wanted Gil to go harder because I feel like with Gil's personality and Gil's wit and Gil's speed when it comes to this type of shit, I feel like he could have gave us that Snoop Dogg energy that was like, damn, we got to get Gil ringside at more fights. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
We've been missing this. I think he can give us that. I think he's done that on his lives before. But I think that night, I don't know if it was a long day or, like I said, if he was roasted and celebrating, which is cool. Because it's your evening, and I've had live streams, and you know me. It gets to a certain point where I'm just there. I'm still doing my job, but I'm roast daddy dollars. And that's cool because, like, I take those opportunities to celebrate what we was doing up until there. Like, I still want to party a little bit, even though I got a job to do, so I can dig it. I'm not mad at him, but I really wanted Gil to give us a little bit of that. What Snoop gave us that time when everybody know that you was that eloquent and knew that much about fighting and that funny at the same time and that raw. I think Gil possesses those same qualities. So maybe next time we'll see it out of him. I think they did a good job though overall.
Shout out to Pat Bev and Freeway.
Yo. Shout out to Pat. Shout out to Free. Pat, we was just watching Pat play the game.
Yep.
Turn on the stream. Next thing you know, Pat in Delaware. I'm like, oh shit. He was flying up 95. But anyway, Pat did a great job. Pat also invaded Kev's stream during the Lakers game, but we'll get to that in a minute. But and Freeway did real good.
Freeway was really entertaining there too.
We already knew that Pat was good at it. I know that Free's personable, mm-hmm. But Free did a good job of great commentary, and also, like, you know, it's a lot of jabs that get tossed around, and Free just had a good way of staying neutral and just keeping it decent without ODing. Like, it's a balance to all of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. When
you sit in between people and they getting their jokes off, you really don't want to be in the middle of the joke, but it's still love because it's light. Like, you got to find a way to maneuver that and still make yourself part of the conversation when it's supposed to be. And I think he did a good job of that in moments, too. That's something that I definitely remember.
I think the one area of improvement would be the ring girls.
Ring girls are very disappointing, and I think that they said 32 ring girls. I feel like I kept seeing the same 3 groups of 4.
Yeah.
I'm giving like 12, 15 max, if that, and out of that about a handful of.
Yep.
So but shout out to them because, you know, I've never had to do that, never had to be a bottle, nothing, never done, you know. And I wouldn't, but just saying, like, if that's what they got going on, then I salute it. But I definitely think the next event, especially off of the momentum of this one, we're gonna see more bigger names, doper talent, random motherfuckers that we don't know that's at a higher level, and we're gonna see more women that want to be in that ring and get that exposure and possibly the checks that come from that, because they were shouting them out and giving their names out. You know these motherfuckers are savages. Especially
right.
The ones that paid $20 for the knockout party.
Absolutely.
Like me. But no, shout out the situation because, like I said, I pretty much knew that it was worth a dub, right?
Mm-hmm.
But far beyond my expectations from just entertainment value. We're not talking about quality of boxing because everybody's out there getting it how they live, and the ref was calling it pretty much accordingly. But entertainment value, my eyes was glued. I didn't want to take a piss. So shout out to them. Because as soon as you take a piss, the other fight started.
Yeah.
It was rolling.
So anything else for your weekend? What else happened this weekend?
Oh, the Lakers won the in season tourney. What you mean? You know what I'm saying?
They definitely did. They definitely did. Shout out,
Halliburton been having a month of his career.
shout out to LeBron with the MVP trophy as well.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that as a Lakers fan? What do you think that means for their playoff chances?
I think this shit has nothing to do with playoffs, especially especially when you talk about the Lakers, because one, I think we'll be in the playoffs. It's about seeding,
Right.
right? But our team is largely based on health. So when it comes to a point where it's like we need everybody damn near healthy, and they say that for every team, but like for the Lakers, we have LeBron at damn near 40, AD playing every other game good, and a whole lot of little random pieces. Like, we need people to play together long enough so that we can figure out exactly what this is before the playoffs start. So, like, that's a tricky thing for me. I'm glad that they took the in-season tournament seriously, but I think you got to attribute that to LeBron's leadership. LeBron takes everything with a championship at the end of it seriously.
Absolutely.
Now, played some good teams, and some good teams lost in that pup. So I don't think this is a situation where you could discredit it either, because even though it's not the championship, it's an in-season tournament championship. It's the first one, and it's something that everybody had to participate in.
Now, do you think moving forward, will teams take this more seriously now, do you think? Or how? Well, before I even ask that, how do you think that teams took this year?
I think all teams took it differently, but I think rightfully so, right? Some teams are rebuilding. Some teams are super young. Some teams have injuries. Some teams have a Ja Morant that's not going to be back yet. Like, there's a lot of different things that go on, so there's different incentives. Some teams said, yo, the young boys on the team don't make no real paper. Let's win this and give them the bag. And that was enough motivation. Some teams say, yo, this is a good opportunity for us to show people that we a real threat. And no matter how far we get, we going to be a problem this season. And some people got the best out of that. But that's not a Laker or a LeBron mentality. So LeBron got out of it what LeBron needed out of it, because we know how he is. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I think everybody took it differently. I think a 38-year-old LeBron winning the first one over some of the talent that was in the tournament will motivate people to want to win it next year. Okay. I think that is good for the sport, especially once they explain that soccer already does it. Mm-hmm. And explain the benefits of it and the value of it, and you know, the alternative. I'm like, all right, if this is becoming an international, damn near universal sport, we can adapt some of that to get energy before Christmas.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I liked it. I was excited. The courts threw a lot of people off, but I think you got to do extreme and futuristic stuff when you present something new, so that it's immediately recognizable that it's a difference.
I loved the courts. That was probably one of the smartest things they did for it, in my opinion.
I think Tuesdays and Fridays is like, who would have thought to do it that way? But then when you really think about it, it's like, well, no matter how you would have did it, right? Tuesday and Friday might have been a good idea.
Yeah.
And it might be like a bar. Our slow days is on Tuesdays, so that's karaoke night. They might have needed some juice on a Tuesday. Like, I don't know. But I think it worked. I think the league made a lot more money than they had to pay out. Yeah. And I think that'll fluctuate, but the league's still gonna make more and more money as it goes on. But I think the grand prize will probably be bigger, which will incentivize it more. And like I said, if you're playing for the players that ain't got it, or if you want the players that got it and you really don't play about your bread or your how you looked at in a position of the NBA, you're going to take every opportunity to shit on motherfuckers and get that trophy.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I believe that. But shout out to the Lakers, because I really thought that game was going to go different. LeBron scored the most points in the least amount of time than every Laker in the Lakers history, which is phenomenal. and he's damn near 40. He'll be 39 in less than a week. Crazy. And on the topic of LeBron, real quick, sidebar. Shout out to Bronny. Shout out to Savannah and the whole family involved with the Bryans and them. We seen Bronny go through cardiac arrest as a young man months ago, and a lot of the people in the community were very anxious, nervous, and scared for LeBron and his family and for that young man, because we know he's passionate about being athletic.
Right.
He came out the other night, last night. They lost, but he played a pretty good game. He only scored a couple buckets, but he had a few assists, a few steals, a great block that looked phenomenal, a handful of rebounds. I think he played a solid game to be his first game back as a freshman, getting acclimated to what's going on out there. I think that's how you do it. I think that people expected him to just be Bron and go for 20 real quick. But, like, this is a system. This is a college. And this is a young man that has plenty of time to figure it out. But as long as we could see that he can make it up and down that court and there's no real side effects, because I know they checked him out after the game. Right. Then I'm just, that's beyond inspirational, man. Like, for any kid coming up under him or anybody that looks to that story, it's no excuses, man. Listen to your doctors. Do what you got to do to the best of your ability, whatever your insurance or your finances provide, and have some faith and work hard to get back where you want to be in life. I think that's dope, and I think as a young man to see that from LeBron's son is very fitting.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Well, you want to move on to the Eagles?
I mean, do you want to move on to the Eagles?
Well, shit, we got to talk about it, don't we?
I mean, it's been a long couple weeks. I didn't know if you was exhausted.
I'm a little tired.
Oh, how many yards you had?
0, obviously.
Oh, what you tired from?
From the pain of watching them.
Oh, man, you got to get back in a regimen of being a Philadelphia sports fan.
Listen, we've had a couple of good years, so...
Spoil.
So yeah, in other news, the Eagles played the Cowboys yesterday, and the Eagles did in fact lose. It was not pretty. And that now makes 2 losses in a row. We had the 49ers last week and now the Cowboys, so now we are no longer number 1 in our division, right?
No, you're not.
Yeah. So, there's that.
One of y'all is 3-1 in the division. The other one is 4-1 in the division. But the Cowboys beat y'all, so I think therefore. But either way, y'all under them. Yeah. But shit, y'all might. I gotta see where y'all dropped to, because y'all had the possibility of falling to 5th, but I don't think y'all did.
No, I don't think we did.
That was based on other wins and losses though from other teams. So, but you didn't have fun watching the game?
No, I mean our defense has just been not looking great these last couple of games. Our offense
been running at will.
Huh?
Motherfuckers been running at will.
Right.
Just running.
And then on the other side, like, running is supposed to be our thing, and our run game has not been up to par because that's all we do basically. So it's easy to defend.
Do you think that as an Eagles fan, you focus so much on what y'all aren't doing that you don't realize that Dak was out there running a fucking clinic yesterday? As a home team fan to the team that's losing, do you get so blindsided or so narrow-minded at a certain point that you don't realize that, like, it's gold happening on the other side of that ball?
As a former athlete, I never think about what the other team is doing because it's always about what you can improve on.
I like that.
It's always about your game. You always have to play your game, regardless of what you're playing against.
I'm talking as a spectator, but if you spectate as you play, that's fine too.
So that's just my mentality when I approach sports in general. So no, I don't think about what the other team is doing. But you're correct. Like, yes, that happened. And like obviously that was a factor. But even if he didn't have a great day, we didn't play like we were going to win that game.
Absolutely.
And that's on us.
Y'all
So,
didn't
like,
make-
we
y'all
need to
didn't make
own
it
that.
difficult for him at all.
Yeah. And, like, not for nothing, we haven't looked like we want to win a game this entire year.
Just been winning them.
We've just been skin of our teeth, like, dragging ourselves through. So, at some point, we got to wake up and we actually got to start playing. And hopefully, this serves as enough kick in the butt that happens. But I'm also not necessarily convinced.
All I know is it is crunch time. Ain't no more losing, yo.
I agree with you there.
Ain't no more losing. Y'all gotta figure it out. Y'all gotta figure it out, man. Russell Simmons.
That's where you want to go from here?
And I DM'd you a topic. But you talked through it, so I don't know if you ever saw it.
I don't think I got it.
DM. But about the Russell Simmons situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Russ left years ago when Me Too got heavy and his name was caught in a lot of stuff, right? And there was a lot of questions about Russ's behavior
Okay.
with women. He been in Bali doing yoga. I seen him pop over to the States maybe once or twice, like maybe a holiday or a random occasion, something family related. Maybe somebody had a achievement. I can't remember directly what it was. But one thing about it is he hasn't really said much. You showing me that I ain't send it?
No,
Alright.
I'm downloading it. Keep talking.
So when so he just had a conversation, and during the conversation, he mentioned that he took, I believe, 9 lie detector tests about this in detail about the situations that he's been accused of.
Mm-hmm.
7 of which was with like the top dog of the whole science of lie detector tests.
Right, it was like the president of the Lie Detector Association or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he passed all of them. And he asked the guy, what if I remember something differently than it happened? Or what if I have a different feeling about something than how it went? And the guy's response, according to Russ, was that either way, your subconscious will still kick in
Right.
and affect the test.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a part of the conversation where Russ is explaining that he may have been rude. He's definitely been an asshole. He was a hoe, to a certain extent, right? So he's had multiple encounters, and he's sure everything didn't go how he necessarily may have thought it went, right?
Uh-huh.
But then he says, I've never done anything violent, and I view rape as a violent act. So I've never raped anyone. Or something to that extent, right?
Right.
True or false?
True or false what?
Rape is only a violent act.
False. Rape doesn't necessarily have to be violent in the definition of, you know, like physical harm. It can be like an emotionally violent act.
Still classifies as violent, but I guess then we talking about a wobbly lane, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, violent is a weird word, but
Right, and it's a very specific word, right? That could be, it's a word.
very ambiguous word.
It's a word that, like, you know, when you address this, what words you want to use and not want to use, right?
Yeah. I'd say that.
Right. Are you familiar with who Russ is?
I mean, in the general sense, sure.
You know, that's like Reverend Run's brother, the guy that started Def Jam with Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
all of the promotion. Like he's like the grandfather of hip hop. And are you familiar with his cases
No.
or his accusations? Because he said he hasn't been convicted or went to court over any of these things, which is also strange.
No, I'm not familiar with the accusations at all.
All right, because I don't want to get too deep into it. I just wanted to present. I'd even tell the audience, go look at whether there's a clip, but I would also tell you to watch the whole thing. But I don't know how much time you got, and just give me feedback on how he presented the wording of what he's being accused of and what his recollection or his accountability of such is. Because I thought it was interesting, and I don't know if he's trying to swindle, spin, so to speak. But at the same time, I know that he has enough advisors and enough timing and enough wisdom to use proper terminology to get his point across, right?
Right. So what conclusions did you draw from it, if any?
I remember Maul from Roy and Maul saying, whether the person did it or not, when this person is in a certain position in our culture, I still want to hear from them, right? But then it draws into, especially knowing media and the media spaces, people set up interviews with certain people that they want to interview them that'll only cover certain things and that'll handle them a certain way.
Yes.
Definitely. I feel like from what I've seen in this one, I need at least one more that's not done this way.
Okay.
Or by this angle. And not that I want him to be interrogated or persecuted. I just need something to compare it to. Because it's been so much and then it's been so long and then there's a lot of... Russ has always been very careful when he speaks. So it takes a lot to like be like, oh, that's where we were going.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And people give him that, which they should, because until he's convicted or proven of any of these things, like, he's a man to respect. You don't want to disrespect somebody of his stature prematurely, right?
Right. Of course.
But he's one of them. He damn near murder Mook. Just referring to the whole, like, oh, we talking about China, but we about to get back to Africa. All right, cool. I'm here. It get like that sometimes when you hear certain people talk that are not only careful about their words, but that seem to have so many thoughts of ways they can answer something at one time, and they have to filter through it while they're talking to you. You can see the wheels turning sometimes.
Do you think that
That
this
doesn't
is...
mean creativity all the time. Sometimes that means, how do I put this? And that's cool too. But go ahead.
Do you think that this new batch of allegations, both in terms of like Russell Simmons, Diddy, and it's happened to other, like, you know, hip hop moguls in the past as well, but do you think that this new batch might change anything or in the culture or in the industry as far as like how women are approached?
I think that the overall Me Too movement already has, right? Because I'd rather give that credit for the simple fact that a lot of these things that we're seeing come to the surface from the bigger guys is 20, 30, 40 years old, 15 years old, right? That's before Me Too.
Right.
Since then, even if somebody wanted to be a savage, they knew they would get called to the table for it. They've seen Weinstein and everybody else that we thought might have been above prosecution, which Weinstein we still don't hear enough about, but we know that things have changed, right? In his life and in Hollywood, based on what we found out about what he was doing and others, right? So I feel like in any position of power in business, especially in entertainment, there's gonna be some animals, and there's gonna be some questionable situations, and there's gonna be some money grabs, and there's gonna be all of that. I think this is just part of course. I think that it started a long time ago. I think that women overall in the business space have had less of what they would have had because motherfuckers know that could be your ass. And it don't have to happen now. It could be when you happily married with children down the line and now your wife hates you. And it's taking everything while you on your way to jail. Like, it's real now. I think Me Too and just society in general and women being in positions of power and black women being the most graduated class of people from universities, I think a lot of things more so than who's getting caught for what have changed the business place more so than a certain person catching a case. Somebody catching a case just means you might not be swindled by that person. Or you might not be swindled by that version of the game. It doesn't affect the entire beast as much as a movement of women and others saying, yo, they don't deserve that. And if you keep doing it, we're gonna call you a creep, and your empire will crumble. And if it doesn't crumble, you will not roam as freely restaurant to restaurant as you used to. I think that's the thing now, even politically. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Certain politicians, certain people in the Senate take certain stances, and they can't eat in public no more.
True.
It's a real thing. So I think that we don't want to attribute it to who's being affected, especially in cases that's going to take years to get settled anyway. But I think that we need to credit the overall movement, the awareness, the response. What we always say, man, ignorance is bliss. Once you are educated on something, you have a responsibility to tend to it. That was a bullhorn, yo. That was a war siren.
Mm.
And it touched international. You better be careful in America. That's what I would say. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
That makes sense?
Sure.
All right, cool.
Where are you trying to go next?
Let's shout out the homegirl, man.
Absolutely.
Let's do that, because she shout us out, shout me out, hold the city down. Love when I get to show some love back to my homegirl, man. Shout out to First Lady Tweet, SHAQUITA. She is having a book release on the 16th, The Exaggerated Biography of a Gemini. You already know I'm a Gemini, so I'm all in. Definitely gonna see my face in the place. I don't know for how long. Got out of town folks coming up, and I also have 18 events that day. But I gotta show up for the sis. Salute to her. If you haven't looked at the page, recently Midnight Train to Philly, event that she put together for Son of the 215, which is why I give me a blessing as part of the promo for this. Shout out to Lovely Late Beats for the production on that. Shout out to Pops. I was in the studio for the inception of that. I'm around. But shout out to Tweet, man. Shout out to Tweet. Congratulations. Please, if you can make it to the book signing, go to her page, go to my page. Let's figure it out, see where it is, how you could be a part of it. But show us some love. Order it, buy it, read it, share it, all of that, because this is somebody that she speaks from a real space, and she's very selfless in her day-to-day life. So I think you really enjoy a book about her being open about herself and her mentality and things that her understanding of things.
Absolutely.
I think that that'll be super fly. So once again, congratulations. Man. Tap in. Chaz, what's up, yo? There go your seat. I'm about to pull a Joe Button and fire the seat. Anyway. You got some topics, Chaz? Never mind. Let's go to comedian versus clown.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if y'all know, right? but it's this guy named Charleston White. And he's from Texas. And he's been going viral week after week, day after day, month after month. Talking about people business, criticizing people, grinding them up, threatening people with pistols, spraying people with pepper spray. He done did just about everything, but he one of them people similar to 6, yeah, you know the rest, or 4, 5, that everybody was like, well, he's just going to keep getting away with it. Everybody's so tough until it comes to them, and then eventually certain things happen that show that you are touchable. So Charleston White was on stage, and he fancies himself a stand-up comedian and an activist and some other things, but he was doing a stand-up thing from what I believe. Mm-hmm. And he's on stage and he's doing the money phone joint, you know what I mean? Walking around with the wad of money, and yeah, I got my back in, and somebody in the crowd said something to him, and he was open at first, like, what's going on? And then the homie said what he said, and then he approached the stage, and then Charleston, you see him pick up a flower pot with a flower in it from the front of the stage, which is a weird prop to be on the front of the stage. I don't know what kind of city. I gotta look that up. What club was that? That was weird. But he grabbed the flower pot, and this is the reason you don't put flower pots at the front of the stage, because somebody can throw that motherfucker. And he flung it at the dude in the crowd, right in front of the stage. So homie and his folks jump on the stage. Some other people around try to help Charleston. They wrestling and tussling with people. And then you see Charleston go down in the background and get his ass whooped. And then you see him go on, he on the joint later on live. And, you know, you got to go live. You got to show your face. Right? You got to show people you're not in the hospital. He like, I got whooped by like 10 niggas and I ain't got a bruise on me. And y'all motherfuckers is this and that. I'm pausing for a reason, right? Because this is the fucking problem. First of all, not having physical, visible damage to your face does not mean you ain't get your ass whooped and that your body ain't fucked up and you ain't got a broken rib or some shit. It don't. But, all right, selfies is the wave, so we'll just take everybody's face for face value. But anyway, I know everybody got bravado and everybody want to be tough, but I started this segment by saying it was just proving that you can be touched. Mm-hmm. The fact that you got away and you can still take pictures and look cute and play a role and maybe not be as bad off as you thought you would have wound up in that situation, because that's what you cop into when you go live and say that's not where I'm at. That's what you thought was going to happen. Sometimes you got to take that as a warning and be like, damn, I could be touched. Next time, I might be stabbed. I might be slashed. A motherfucker might Martin Lawrence pumpkin face me. You know why? Because them gentlemen that ran on stage and tried to help couldn't stop everybody. So, I call this comedian versus clown because DL Hughley quickly posted the incident. And you know DL posts, he writes 5 pages in the fucking caption about the topic. And he was basically saying, stop saying that Charleston White is a comedian that got jumped on stage. And I know it makes a great viral headline because that's what was going on for the last couple years. But I'm going to ride with DL and saying he's a clown. So title the shit right. And if you want to be a clown, then you get the circus. If you want to be a comedian and actually dedicate energy to something that uses your brain and your voice at a high level, then you'll get a different kind of respect when somebody run up on you on stage. I think that's a fact.
What do you think is the difference
Between a clown and a comedian?
Yeah.
I think that similar to the early viral generation, a clown is somebody that thinks it's enough just to crash out, bump their head, and look crazy.
Okay.
I think a comedian wouldn't dare. on stage. They usually do it in their personal life because they usually come from dark places or have dark habits. I mean, they got the series out now behind the, talking about comedians, wrestlers. There's a lot of dark shit that go on when you live your life on the road, man, and you underpaid and underappreciated. And even the ones with real money, like in order to look at life and figure out some funny shit, you done been through some shit. If you can make it universally relatable, you done been through some shit.
Do you think somebody can cross over from being a clown to a comedian?
I think in some ways we've seen DC do it. And I don't think that DC was necessarily always a clown, but I think that those 7-second, 15-second, 40-second videos was just enough time for him to wild out. I feel like when he had to dedicate more time and energy into being repetitively in a TV space, being on a stand-up stage and having an open or follow-up motherfuckers that really do the craft, I think he showed you where his real skill set and his brain and his versatility. I compared like, I think it was I Might Need Security from Jamie Foxx, but it was a stand-up when Jamie did impersonations. He played the piano, he sang, he talked crazy, he did a little bit of everything, and then he got a TV show, and then he made platinum records singing. You have to be able to show people everything you can fucking do, especially when you're a comedian and a might just be me against the crowd entertainer, right? I think that you have to do that, and I think that DC has found a way to show us all of his talents, and I think his music, which he's actually really great at, has taken a back burner, but for the greater good. But I think he always finds a point to tell you or to present like, no, I still do this too. I was on the choir. I could play the instruments. I could do the dances. Like I could, you know what I mean? I think you get more than you got when it was, fuck you mean. He don't even say fuck you mean no more. Now you talking about being blessed and stuff like that. Like you got clothing lines about God. Like you just get to see the total package. I think he's done a great job of it. I think it's possible. And not saying he was a clown in the beginning, but that was what we were being presented. Also, Queen's Flip is another good example.
Okay.
Queen's Flip done damn near killed herself jumping off of trucks through tables and all type of shit. Right? Came on Joe Budden feeling like he always had to be the voice of the people, the voice of the chat. Always had to be devil's advocate. Always had to figure out the wild way to shake everybody up. And since he's been around them, we've seen that he could be more than just that. And he's tamed a lot of that shit down for the greater good, and he's getting opportunities. Like, he's with the wrestling motherfuckers and all type of shit. And he's always been able to get endorsements, but this is a huge platform, and he's been able to show that he's using his brain while explaining to the public that he's having a hard time with it, but he's figuring it out. I think that that's dope.
Right.
Flip say damn near every episode, no, I hear you. But it's something with me, like, I just be, like, he's being honest. I think that's fair because even though he might say that for 8 episodes, 20 episodes later, you see he don't even do that shit no more.
I do like the honesty that he brings to the Joe Budden podcast.
I think he keeps everybody honest.
Yeah.
I think he puts people in a position where they got to give a little more up.
I agree.
Without challenging them in the way that Joe does, he just does it.
Right.
And then he calls you on it by joking. Anytime he laughs and says something to you, he be like, yo, you an ill nigga. You ain't even... That's his way of saying, give it up. I see what you did there. No, don't do that. Come on. I think that's dope. I think that that's... You always need wild cards, and you always need... what is called in movies? Comedic something.
Comedic relief.
Comedic relief. You always need that. And I think that when you can mix that with a black man with experience and intelligence and a different understanding than all the other black men up there, then why not? Because he still gets to contribute on both sides. He's not a clown. I think he's a good example. Shout out to Brother Flip, man. CARI Champion and LOREN Lozado. All right, so I was watching Breakfast Club the other day, right?
Isn't it LaRosa?
Lauren LaRosa, thank you. Lauren LaRosa and CARI Champion. I apologize. Watching Breakfast Club the other day, and I have this thing, like, I talk to people all the time, and I watch people talk to people and respond to people all the time. And a lot of the time what I see with our community, and it gets weird, is that we think that because we're intelligent or we're smart and we know words and we know how to present ourselves well, that we can't listen without classifying things. We can't listen without putting the cloak over it or dressing it up while you're trying to explain what you're trying to explain. And I think that fucks a lot of things up, because if I have to keep waiting on you to interject for me to say what I'm trying to say, then how much more do I really have to say to you? How much more time do I have to joust? I'm already predicting that this is going to take a long time, and that I don't want to like force an issue or make you feel some type of way, so this could get crazy. So I'm watching CARI Champion, who we know from sports, and Lauren LaRosa, who we know from TMZ and Breakfast Club. Recently, she does a lot of guest hosting at Breakfast Club, and she's awesome there. But they were having a conversation, and Lauren LaRosa was saying, a lot of women, a lot of black women in our space just don't want to help me. They won't, I reach out, they won't this, that, and the third. And CARI corrected her, and she told her, she said, don't talk like that. I can't allow you to talk like that. We don't need to present that. We need to show a united front, and there are people that are going to help you and willing to help you. And she said, I'll be one of them. So they were having a lot of conversations back and forth on and off air about, you know, helping Lauren in her direction, because she's a young lady, very young and very talented. And she has a lot more work to do in this space. And there's certain people that can help her get there, and CARI and Charlemagne, and they for sure are those kind of people, right?
Absolutely.
So before CARI got into one of her segments, she took the time to say this, and I thought this was very interesting, because I don't see enough of us saying this publicly. Hold on. Let me get through the commercial and I'm going to show you. But it's basically what I just said. But I want y'all to hear how she put it, because it wasn't sassy. It wasn't long-winded. But it's something that we all need to keep in mind, man. If you there to learn, you there to learn. You can't learn while you teaching me.
It's a therapy session. That's what this has been.
That's what it feels like.
It feels that way. I need an exorcism.
You gonna go that far? I didn't say that.
Now you're projecting. You want to talk about projecting. Now you projecting.
Charlie with his hands like, no, I don't know. What do you mean? With the hands.
My bad, it's coming.
CARI, I
up,
appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you too, sis. I'm going to tell you one thing.
Tell me.
You got to listen.
I'm going to listen.
No, she means
Like, you got to
life.
listen.
I'm going to listen.
Like, you can't, like, if we're telling you something or I'm telling you something, I want you just to receive it. I don't want you to clarify or explain it. I just want you to receive it. We're here to build you up. You're standing on our shoulders right now. I think this opportunity for you is amazing. You got to get out your way. That's the problem with this generation. We just got to get out of each other's way.
And I thought that was, it's not even profound, yo. It's like so simple, and it's like, I think sometimes we need to be reminded of stuff like that. Sometimes we get so caught up in what we know that we can't hear what we don't fucking know. I'm talking to you for a reason. I'm asking you for something, and you might be taking a long way to get there, but it might be because you noticed something else in the route that I didn't pick up on. Shout out to Team Danger Zone, man. Always working. Salute, 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 salute. But what did you think about that? How do you feel about that? And especially in this generation when everybody that has a voice has a super voice.
Right.
I could be Mikey Williams. I ain't gotta listen to Michael Jordan.
Well, and I think also in the age of social media, it's very easy to be self-centered and self-focused. And being self-centered isn't necessarily all in all a bad thing, as long as you have the awareness outside of you. Like, you need to have both. And I think what she's talking about is, like, sometimes you need to just have that awareness outside of you to recognize where you're in a position where you could really learn something, or you can really benefit if you just keep your mouth shut and try to soak in as much as possible.
It comes with humbling yourself, though, and putting your shoulders down. Because a lot of the times what happens is with accomplishments and intelligence comes arrogance sometimes, right?
Absolutely.
So we get in a position where when somebody tells us something that we might feel like is coming at how we do what we do, or that we feel like is maybe not accounting for something that we think should be accounted for,
We feel the need to qualify.
we feel the need to explain why you don't get it.
Right.
And what you don't realize is people at that level that you're fighting to get at that'll help you get there, they're not wasting words.
Absolutely not.
They have seen it at a short clip. And the only way that you'll prove them otherwise is in showing them, not in conversation.
Right.
Because you could tell me anything in business, and they know that.
I also want to take a second to acknowledge the later part of what she said, where she said that you are in your own way. Oftentimes, and I see this in the industry a lot, we create our own barriers by saying, well, I don't want to do that, or I'm not that type of artist, or I don't belong on that stage.
Got a couple clips that went viral on our page.
And once you set those boundaries, for whatever reason, it makes you unapproachable, and it makes people less likely to want to work with you, and you really do start to get in your own way.
You put that energy out there.
Yeah, even your attitude and how you approach your creativity, like, if it comes from a place of negativity, like, that's not necessarily going to get you very far.
And how about, like, we ever, my bad, I'm old. Do we ever realize there's a such thing as stinking thinking?
Right.
Like, you could stand on some shit, and it could be some bullshit. And you can stand on whatever you want. But all you gonna get from standing on bullshit is fucked up sneaks.
And at the end of the day, usually what you're standing on that's bullshit comes from your insecurities.
No, and it comes from your lack of knowledge.
That too.
It comes from your lack of knowledge. A lot of the times, and hip-hop is known for this, the inner city and the hood is known for this. We'll always turn something down and be like, yo, that's some white people shit. Or, yo, that's not me. Or, yo, I can't see myself doing that. How about try the shit?
Mm-hmm.
How about look into it?
Mm-hmm.
How about tap in with somebody? And even if you don't do the shit, you might gain an ally on that side that's just from a different walk of life that you could bounce different ideas off and maybe could build with.
And there's also this tendency that people have to generalize. Like, if you have one bad experience with one person, you start to generalize an entire, like, industry of, or classification of an industry of people. And that's not fair. Like, there are bad people that do shitty, there are good people that do shitty business.
I got a perfect example. If you think of going into business with a group of skateboarders, what would you think? Headache, right?
Sure, yeah.
I know, and shout out to Mozart because he introduced me to him, a group of, and this was years ago, they were young, skateboarders living in Manhattan, nice ass apartments, skateboards and sneakers all over the place, best weed in the city, just everywhere, and I mean every flavor you could think of, and they was cool, and they was just selling decks and t-shirts by the boatloads, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Doing great business, running their own little factory and just living their life. They was living regular. Like, just imagine being in your 20s and never really feeling like you had to go to work, but you gotta, the elevator to their apartment lets you know what building they in. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what it is when you go out there.
Mm-hmm.
Everything ain't the same. And it's like, no, man, everything ain't everything. And we would have thought that they wouldn't fuck with us. We had Dutches. They told us 3 different ways to roll Dutches that we never seen before because they don't really roll them, but they was down the road. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they did some cool shit. We smoked. They ain't even try to market nothing to talk about no business. They making their money. And they was cool as hell. And we would have never kicked it with them unless by happenstance we bumped into each other at a fucking bar or something.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So like we generalize. Because I like pointing out the skateboard culture because they have a lot of similarities to us and they part of us too.
Absolutely.
As the hip hop culture or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but
they outlaws, renegades, all that cool shit.
I was really, back to the original topic, I was really impressed to hear CARI say that publicly in the tone that she did, in the way that she did. It was really nice to see her holding a woman accountable while still lifting her up at the same time.
And she kept explaining that to her. She kept trying to tell her, like, even though I understand how you feel about certain things, she said in these spaces, we have to always build each other up. And that's short-sighted. Like, the same way that you think no one has helped you yet, there are people that are watching you right now that are figuring out ways that they can utilize you.
Absolutely.
Including me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And I think that that's important to know. Like, don't let your frustrations outweigh your future.
Absolutely.
Because the same way you figure you got a platform to vent your frustrations, the people that are listening to you have no idea about any of that, and they can only be skewed by what you present. And usually that's not in a positive way. If you go somewhere complaining, the first time somebody is aware of who you are and what you're capable of, and they're ingratiated by it and interested in you. I think that that's important to remember, yo. It's never about that. Never about that. Oh, shout out to Hank. Just popped up on an episode with Hank today. He dropped that fuck, man. Let me see. Yeah, the How to Hustle podcast for sure. But last episode of How to Hustle podcast is featuring me. Quick little 30 minutes of me and my boy getting to it. He run down what he got going on. He's like on his like 4th sneaker now. So salute to him because that's major. No, he's, you know him. He all about marketing. He telling me how many people he meet at his other job where he be down at the events and all of that, and how he just be promoting. It's dope. So shout out to him, man. Somebody that holds us down, and he'll be at the 250th live filmed episode. He brought that up too. He was at 200, and he was like, when we asked anybody in the crowd want to say something, he said, I was the first one to jump up. I'm like, bro, you always are, bro. That's my guy. But tap into that on How to Hustle podcast. Also, just tap in with him. If you somebody in this space of entertainment, media, whatever have you, he's a great ally to have. He really does more work outside of the city than most of us do when it comes to networking for his platforms and stuff like that, and his businesses. So he's a great person to tap in with, so we could teach each other how to do this shit, man. That's all.
Absolutely.
That's all. No big eyes and little U's. None of them. Where we at now?
This week on SippinWitSammie.
Well, you the producer.
All right. So if you did not see already, we did just drop a trip in this last Friday from Son of the 215's Midnight Train to Philly. Dope event. It was a nice little recap. Sam, you watched it. What do you think?
I actually dug it. And I'm saying actually for some dumb reason because I always did get production. But for you to ask me that was kind of strange. But I fuck with it. I feel like I was so excited for Son that night that you kind of could see it in the interviews that I was doing in between, and it was so much family in the building that I was talking to that like I got to joke and just vibe more and not have to worry about people being anxious and making them, you know what I mean? Like it's different when people don't know like necessarily how to approach my camera. I was in a different space, so I had a lot of fun doing it, and I feel like it looked like that on camera. Also, shout out to Red Snapper. She always brings that energy out of me. Shout out to Pops. I got him on camera, and he be trying to stay low, so I appreciate him. Shelly Shell Williams, my bestie. Shout out to you. Shout out to Robert J. Moore. That was an honor to talk to them two on my camera, and I'm going to get them right here very soon. They open to it. We just got to schedule it. They busy folks. And shout out to my guy Dutch, man. If you're familiar with the platform, you know that he has his own stool in the bar, so to speak. He's a regular supporter of the situation, and he's somebody that always shows love. But he always give me them things you need to hear. And I don't know if it comes from him being in the industry so long and just being aware that sometimes we need that motivation, or if he's just reporting what he's seeing and being genuine as he usually is. But I swear to God, this boy he be having them words sometimes, K.
Mm-hmm.
My man could be in the darkest of tunnels and still light me up.
Mm-hmm.
And I fuck with that. So appreciate
Shout out
Dutch. Shout out to Dutch for that, man, because you've always been there for us, and we always gonna support you, because you know how they say don't meet your idols. I don't really have idols, but when it come to this city and the music scene, Dutch is one of my favorite personalities, energies in this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Most versatility than damn near anybody in this shit. And it was like, yo, for him to be my brother now and to understand what we doing, and I don't gotta like have a pep talk and to be like play by play, he see it. That shit just always feels good. So salute to Dutch, man. Salute to Dutch.
Absolutely. In addition to that tripping, we also dropped another Sippin' with Sammie episode last Thursday at 4 p.m. like we always do. This past Thursday was Social Sims. If you haven't watched it already, please go check that out.
My guy.
Right, Social Sims.
Shout out Lil Giants Entertainment, man.
Absolutely, he is an artist, a cameraman, fashion designer, does a lot.
And he's just a vibe. Yo, Sims is a vibe, yo. Like, just like good energy, good brother, very appreciative and super on everything. Like, when you talking to him, you know that like he's soaking all this shit up, and he might decide to do this one day and bypass what I'm doing because he just gets it. Like, he's not worried about how he looks in it. He's worried about how to make it look. And I fuck with Social Sims, man. And he usually looks good. My man be sharp, man. He tear him up, give him good energy. But I mean, like, outside of that, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about how you visualize situations when you get into him. He's somebody that he doesn't, he don't outsource. He figure out how to do it. And I think that's dope as hell. So shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. Salute to him. Salute to the Little Giants. Like I said, real gang shit, man. They roll around like they supposed to, and they show love.
Most
Salute
definitely.
to them. Oh, also, the Foundations listening party is up there now. Tap in with it. Also, tap into the Foundations mixtape. It's streaming everywhere. It's a lot of vibes. Plenty songs. Bookworm, my God. Tap in with Bookworm. We gotta get Bookworm back through it. I ain't had Bookworm up in a while, actually. And I thought about Wiz today. I was gonna hit him about something. I need Worm and I need Ree. So I'm gonna say that now, cause I ain't lying. I thought about that today. I was gonna hit Wiz. So yeah, let's do that. And the 250th joint is coming soon. So I need y'all for that too. You know how that's gonna go. But my bad. Where we was at?
We was about to wrap.
Oh, it's over?
Yeah, that was it.
Party done?
Party done.
What else you got coming up? Nothing?
I'm in my slow season, so I am taking it easy for the time being. We have our 250th episode coming up. I do have some special surprise drops planned for the holidays. We have our end of year wrap coming up in a week or two. We'll probably do that on a Monday.
Yeah, the holidays is on Mondays.
Yeah. So it's gonna be. Oh, Bookworm said he got his wheels back, so he's around.
That's what it is. That's what I need to know. I love that for you.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the family too, man. Love you, boy.
So yeah, I'm in planning mode. This week we do have another episode dropping on Thursday at 4 p.m. We have some clips coming out from the episode with Social Sims. We always have shorts every single day.
What episode is dropping Thursday? Do you know?
I don't know. I can check.
All right, I do you one better. Shout out to what beers do we have right now?
We have 3 bears available at the moment.
Oh,
That's what's up.
that's the next one?
Yep.
All right, cool. I'm with that.
So, as we were saying, we have 3 beers available at the moment. We have the La La Lager, which is now available. New
That's the one I
beer
forgot.
out now. We also have Damn Near Wheels and What You Sippin', the black IPA and then the standard IPA.
Yo, tap in with us. It's novelty. We got a few. They gonna do what they do. They are a vibe. They are good. You know what I'm saying? I've been getting great feedback. Shout out to everybody that's tapped in with me. People have been buying them by the 6. I'm gonna keep it G with you. So they around for a good time, not a long time.
That part. They
Only
go fast.
in town for the night. It get crazy. But we've definitely enjoyed being able to present something to sip so that you can sip with Sammie when you're not with Sammie. Mm-hmm. And also don't forget, we do have the glasses, mugs, shot glasses, Samdanas, ashtrays, rolling trays, t-shirts, all type of merch. It's around. Let me know. I'll get it to you. Shout out to Bent Wine, black-owned, family-owned company. Bent is their last name. It's not a joke. It's a real ting them, and they Jamaican, so I can say it that way. But shout out to all of y'all for tapping in with us this week. You good?
Shout out to Wrist Jewels. If you haven't already bought your Christmas gifts, your Hanukkah gifts, your end of the year gifts, whoever you got to get gifts for, Wrist Jewels is the place to shop. RISS Jewels.us.
I'm making an OG call. Play the commercial.
Oh, okay. I gotta reset
That's
it.
cool. Go ahead, do it. But definitely shout out to our sponsor. Shout out to Rich Jewels. I've also been having some conversations with some dope folks, man. Y'all gonna like these next couple too. But just trying to figure out how to make everything make sense for everybody.
I'm ready.
But go ahead, we in it. This is Sippin' with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool Rug here with Rich Jewels, the official sponsor of the Sippin' with Sammie podcast. Tap in with Rich Jewels, male or female jewelry, and actually has a holiday sale going on right now. Black owned, small business. Tap in with Rich Jewels, Sippin' with Sammie approves. Yup! And we out of here, man. Go Lakers.
Sippin', I'm 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 sippin'.
This is Sippin' with Sammie. I am Mr. Fly Shit Only, the one and only Sippin' with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool Rug. If you ain't sippin' with Sammie, you ain't sippin' right. Please get your fucking life together.